Hello everyone, and welcome to the Why Should a Customer Choose Bitdefender webinar today. My name is Ana Diaconu. I'm a marketing program manager here at Bitdefender, and it is my pleasure to welcome our speaker today, Andra Cazacu, Senior Manager, Integrated Solution and AR. Before we start, a few housekeeping rules. Please note that you are muted and we are recording this webinar. The access to the recording will be provided within the next couple of days after this session. Throughout the webinar, we encourage you to submit your questions. We are going to host a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. And now I would like to pass the mic to Andra.
Thank you very much, Anna, and thank you everyone for taking your time to join us today. We wanted to schedule a session like this for a while, and I hope this will bring value and answer some of your questions related to Bitdefender. I have been with Bitdefender for the past 10 years this April. As a product marketing manager for first the consumer and then the business division. And I have been able to witness firsthand the fantastic growth of this company. And I'm very privileged to share this presentation with you today. So let's get started. And I would like to start off by inviting you to think what makes a cybersecurity solution stand out to you. Is it the number of #1 rankings that they got? Is it being named perhaps a leader by a top analyst firm? Is it a reputation? Now, while all these matter, I would argue that instead, many of us choose cybersecurity solutions based on the ability to simultaneously solve key business problems better than other vendors. And across all industries, many companies today are going through transformational waves. It has shaped significantly what our customers are expecting from a security solutions. Infrastructures have exploded and security needs to keep pace from SMBs all the way to large enterprises. The reason why organizations choose to purchase a security solution today has not changed. They seek protection from ransomware, from data breaches, and compliance. But the new transformational trends that force organizations to evolve or die means that our customers are suddenly facing unexpected pressure and complexity in managing security. The quality of detection today is just one of the many aspects that cybersecurity vendors have to check to ensure that their customers are content. If back in the day, the main question was how well do you perform with detection? Today at Bitdefender, some of the most frequent questions that we get additionally to that are, can your security solution protect my cloud deployments as effectively as it does my endpoints? How many security layers are included in that solution, and can I consolidate anti-malware, anti-exploit, EDR, patch management, encryption to save cost? Can I protect my rogue IoTs that do not support traditional agent-based security? How many security consoles and how many agents will I need to manage in the same time to have a strong security strategy? And the most recent one, if my security department is understaffed, but I still want to maintain that breadth of security, do I have the option to outsource security operation to you as well, using the same tools that you have just installed in my environment? Does your company have sufficient expertise in threat hunting, not just security? So in a nutshell, customers are asking us if we can provide them with a solution that unifies all the security layers they need, that can protect their entire infrastructures, that is centrally managed, self-sufficient, focused on prevention ideally, and that doesn't bury them in alerts. And these are not just statistics and trends that come from industry analysts and the media. These are actual challenges that customers come to us today. And at Bitdefender, we believe that whenever a cybersecurity vendor addresses both business needs and security challenges effectively, recognition comes by itself. So today, one of the primary markers that we believe speaks best for Bitdefender's ability to answer business needs is the unmatched presence of our technologies worldwide. 38% of all cybersecurity vendors today use one or more Bitdefender technologies, and we are seeing great success both with classical security vendors, but with some other less traditional vendors, such as backup security vendors that are looking to integrate A/B scanning. Not only is this an indicator of the unmatched trust that Bitdefender enjoys amongst the customers, but this is also great for our technologies and it's great for our telemetry. Today, we are able to process data from over 500 million sensors worldwide. And what we do with this information is we feed it back into our brain, where we apply heavy machine learning analysis, extract new threat patterns, gain new valuable insights, and in turn maintain effective protection consistently, better than any other cybersecurity vendor. Also, over 90% of the technologies that Bitdefender relies on today are built in-house. R&D is at the center of Bitdefender, and we heavily invest back into technology. We remain committed and will continue to do so in maintaining at least 50% of our personnel into R&D, because we believe this is the key in ensuring consistent quality of our detection. And as a result of our continuous efforts for the past 18 years in our 5 research centers, Bitdefender was able to remain a consistent innovation leader. We integrated the first machine learning technology into our product back in 2008, and we still continue to invest heavily in machine learning since. And a good example, which is not included in the slide here, but I can share from memory, is that when WannaCry hit back in 2017, all Bitdefender customers were protected by a machine learning algorithm that had been included in the product 2 years back. Something that may also interest you, especially those that are less familiar with us, is that we were the first to introduce IoT security back in 2015. And Bitdefender solutions do include today the ability to secure IoTs through a different technology that is more adapted to the B2B space. But at that time, we were the first to release this technology for home use. We also introduced a technology called hypervisor introspection that was incredibly effective at catching 0 days and is to this day, and which no other competitor has matched since. And last year, we were able to consolidate all our security layers and introduce the first security solution that delivers unified hardening, prevention, detection, response, and risk analytics. Now, the constant track of innovation, our constant investment in R&D, and our massive sensor network have enabled us not to only be ranked #1 by independent testing results, but to actually maintain a #1 spot for many years. This last Product of the Year award that you see on the screen has just been delivered for Bitdefender for its overall performance throughout the entire 2019 testing. And we received it a couple of months ago. Bitdefender continues to receive yearly awards from international institutions and top-tier analysts across Europe and US, such as AV-Test, where we have just won Best Protection a month ago, NSS Labs, who singles us as a recommended vendor, or Forrester. And while our origins started in technology, Bitdefender heavily invested for the past 10 years to become a leader in security consolidation. So we wanted to help customers achieve more with less. For the past years, our customers, and not only our customers, have been struggling with an average of 6 to 7 agents per endpoint, which is both a management hassle and an impact on performance. So they have also had to manage different consoles on premises and cloud, and struggle very much in migrating security as they try to adopt more cloud and more IoT. So in 2013, Bitdefender built its Gravity Zone platform from scratch. And at that time, virtualization was still in its infancy. Traditional platforms were still the norm. And many vendors were forcing their security that was not originally built to operate in cloud environments to also cover the new infrastructure breeds. So Bitdefender decided instead to rebuild its security platform from scratch with flexibility and with scalability in mind. Today, Gravity Zone can support any type of public, private, physical, virtual, hybrid deployment with a single agent and a single console. Now, by 2017, we had continued to consolidate not only in terms of platform, but also in terms of technologies. And at that time, we enriched our agents with native EDR capabilities and enhanced our management platform for threat hunting and visualization. This was quickly noted by Gartner in their Magic Quadrant for endpoint protection platforms. And you can see a quote from that report on the screen here. Last year, the team also added risk analytics, which plays a key role in reducing the attack surface for many attacks that are based on exploits, including the recent ones that you may have read in the news with the latest Windows zero-day exploit or the SMBv3 protocol. So risk analytics was a key layer that was added on top of the other security layers back in 2019, which brings us to today, where Bitdefender became the first security solution with a strong consolidated offering. The first integrated security platform for hardening, prevention, detection, and response across endpoint, network, and cloud. What we like to call a true end-to-end breach avoidance platform. And with this approach, Bitdefender is able to not only deliver effective security, but actually to address many business concerns related to effective management or to better return of investment. Now, here are some of the top questions that we got from our customers. How many attacks can your solution automatically prevent across my environment? And for how many do I need to take manual actions? Now, thanks to Bitdefender's sweet spot in effective prevention, we combine machine learning, behavioral analysis. We leverage our 500 million sensor global threat intelligence, and we can effectively stop over 99% of threats before they get executed on the customer's environment and risk a breach. And this is the main reason why Bitdefender also marks #1 ranking in independent tests. This is what you see below on the screen is an actual extract from one of the latest AV comparative reports against sophisticated attacks. Here, Bitdefender was able to prevent attacks before executing, while other vendors only stopped the attack during execution. And in this test that is mentioned here, Bitdefender actually ranked a pure 100% detection rate against advanced attacks, including scenarios where our signatures were turned off. So up until 1 year ago, you could say that prevention was one of the highlights, or was the key highlight of Bitdefender's offering. But as we looked more into EDR, we noticed that many customers were complaining about the avalanche of alerts that a typical EDR solution brings. And I'm sure you are all familiar with this. This often puts their security departments to their knees. At the market level, statistically, due to alert fatigue, only 1 in 3 alerts is actually analyzed by the security department. And this leads to many data breaches passing through. So here is where Bitdefender heavily invested in delivering what we call a lower overhead EDR, one that automatically triages alerts, one that provides severity scoring, and one that includes a clean visualization of the entire attack chain to make the security department job easier in managing the EDR solution. As a result, this March, Bitdefender has just been nominated a key strong performer in Forrester's EDR Wave report. This was the first time that Bitdefender actually participated in the report. And we were called the biggest EDR vendor you haven't considered but should have. But even so, many customers will still find themselves insufficiently staffed. A staggering 1 in 2 CISOs, and this was a report from this time last year, are complaining that they cannot find security expertise due to the massive shortage in cybersecurity skill. So how can a company with little to no security department still benefit from a complete security stack? And one of the most important strategic initiatives that Bitdefender has done in 2019 is to invest in opening our very own security operations center in San Antonio, Texas. Today, this operations center is fully functional and serves customers across the globe, effectively managing security services. This expert team is made of former NSA employees. They provide 24/7 monitoring of security incidents. They are leveraging Bitdefender's technologies, and they are able to identify the data breaches, the potential data breaches, and halt them before they can impact an organization. And finally, our risk analytics and hardening technology, their role is to drastically reduce the attack surface, and they are also supporting rigorous compliance standards, patch management, disk encryption, as well as the risk management portions. They are essential primary layers that will ensure customers reduce chances of being hit to a minimum well before reaching any of our prevention, detection, and response technologies. And all of these technologies come together across the entire customer infrastructure, endpoint, network, cloud, IoTs, especially IoTs is becoming increasingly critical because they are quickly becoming a core target for attackers. What may also interest you is that Bitdefender has a strong focus in delivering technologies to manage service providers and developed a very strong partnership with RMMs such as Kaseya, ConnectWise, SolarWinds, and Datto, to name a few. Having said all this, we listen to our customers' challenges and try to deliver a response, an optimum consolidated security offering. But did this actually meet the customer expectations or help them overcome their challenges? So thanks to our strong reputation in the market as the best #1 ranked prevention solution, we have many organizations that decide to test Bitdefender immediately after getting breached while using other security vendors. What we often discover is that most are surprised by the breadth of the platform and impressed with how this helps them solve additional problems, not just security. And let's start with Commerzbank. This is a company that is very interesting because one of their employees got infected by ransomware. They fortunately had the sense to immediately close the laptop before the threat could propagate. They did not have Bitdefender at that time. They were using another security solution. And as in many cases with our customers, that is the point where a company immediately decided to look for an alternative and evaluated Bitdefender together with other vendors such as Trend Micro, McAfee, and Kaspersky, if I remember correctly. Now, after choosing Bitdefender, they started with prevention because that's what they needed most at that point. But in time, they also added EDR capabilities, patch management, full disk encryption. And Commerzbank has since not encountered similar breaches, but additionally, it has also effectively consolidated its security. And these are actually quotes from the publicly available case study that you can access yourself. Here is some of the things they pointed out. Because Gravity Zone was centralized, they were able to reduce endpoint licensing costs by 15 to 20%. They selected Gravity Zone because it was easy to manage and scale while offering advanced security and intelligence, as the quote shows here. And they really liked the fact that they had a smooth pathway to other Gravity Zone products that would provide them with enhanced security, cloud-based management as their bank grew. So this is a very interesting example from our customers. Another interesting one is Credit Safe. Here, Bitdefender currently protects more than 1,200 endpoints. They were struggling with productivity impact, high resource utilization with their previous security solution. And after using Bitdefender, they were able to optimize the IT time for their IT staff by implementing policy changes in seconds across the entire infrastructures versus 30 minutes. So this is actually a quote from their experience. Let's look at a different example. Mentor, previously known as Mentor Graphics. This is a different situation. They have been using Bitdefender for the past 5 years, actually, and equally both appreciate improved business performance and the high security that our solution brings. They were able to optimize their infrastructure utilization. They have a very high density data center, and thanks to our security such a centralized virtual appliance that Bitdefender has created specifically with its revamped Gravity Zone platform, they are able to optimize scanning for their cloud workloads and improve infrastructure utilization by up to 30%, which for them translates in eliminating more investment into their infrastructure. As we mentioned, they are happy Bitdefender customers for over 5 years, and they have not experienced any security incidents since as well. The final one I would like to share with you is assurance, where Bitdefender is currently protecting over 8,500 physical and virtual servers, workstations, desktops in 50 locations in the United States. Now, they were struggling with inconsistently distributed updates. And this is another common concern that we hear from the customers. These not only impact productivity, but actually leave systems vulnerable to attacks. And of course, this consumes a lot of IT time to manage. As you can see, assurance was able to reduce the weekly number of calls to 0, and even more significantly, they were able to optimize the time for their security team from 5 hours to just an hour and a half. Moving further, Bitdefender, and this is a less known fact, especially for those that haven't been with us for a long time, or for those that have very recently heard of Bitdefender. We also have a dedicated cybercrime investigation team. So what we try to do is to maintain a global view on the cyber threat landscape through the cybercrime division, and also be actively involved both with the international community and with the law enforcement agencies such as FBI, Europol, Department of Justice, Interpol, and other Department of Justices from other countries in Europe that we collaborated with. Among our most notable achievements of this team was our contribution to actually take down the second largest black market in the world, Hansa. And this was done in a collaboration with the FBI, with Europol, and with other law enforcement agencies at the time. And you can see here a quote from Rob Wainwright, who is the executive director of Europol, and he said at the time that with Bitdefender's help, they were actually able to pinpoint the servers in Dutchland, in the Netherlands, and be able to take down the core of the operation from there. Last year, Bitdefender's forensic team directly contributed also to the dissolution of GunCrab. GunCrab, for those of you that are not familiar with it, it's one of the first targeted ransomware families that grew in less than a year to become the most spread ransomware in the world. And aside from our team contributing to this investigation, we are also able to produce a decryptor, which we provided open access to, and we helped save over 10,000 victims from paying over what we estimate is $5 million in ransom demand. We are also a member of Microsoft Tech Accord Alliance and the No More Ransom initiative of Europol, which also includes a portal where ransomware victims can download decryption tools to save their data. So our dedicated cybercrime investigation team is working and has been working for a number of years with organizations worldwide to share Bitdefender's expertise and to contribute to the global white hat efforts. Bitdefender has also immediately jumped to the support of the local community of the global community in the coronavirus times. What we did for 2 weeks is to open our entire portfolio and provide healthcare organizations free security for up to 12 months. Now, through this effort, Bitdefender strives to enable them to work at full capacity on delivering care during the coronavirus pandemic and without worrying about falling victims to cybercrime. As I mentioned, this campaign has been running for 2 weeks. 5 days ago, Interpol actually emitted an official alert that hospitals are seeing an increase of attacks in the COVID-19 time. Cyber criminals are using ransomware to hold hospitals and medical services digitally hostage. They are trying to prevent them from accessing vital files and systems until a ransom is paid. And I'll stop here and point out that the latest Interpol data actually shows that ransomware appears to be spreading primarily via email. They often falsely claim to contain information or advice regarding the coronavirus from a government agency, and they encourage the victim to click on the infected link or attachment. And this is a perfect example of where hardening technologies are so useful. Bitdefender's suite, as you've seen earlier, includes a powerful email security module that reduces, in this case, the attack surface, and it prevents ransomware targeting these healthcare organizations well before the payload is actually dropped on the system. This campaign can be accessed on the link displayed in this page, and we encourage you to share the news, to spread the news, to be able to provide as many healthcare organizations as possible support from a cybersecurity perspective in this time. At this point, there are several cybersecurity companies that are offering support to healthcare organizations in the COVID time. Bitdefender currently has the most generous offer on the market up until this moment. Now, just a quick mention for our internal teams, a reminder that we do have a new set of assets that you can leverage to support our customer story and how we support their challenges. And I will close with a sum up of our gravity zone portfolio that we mentioned today. And with a final mention that we are all navigating very challenging times. So I would like to leave you with a thought from one of the leading leadership speakers of our time. His name is Simon Sinek. Some of you may have heard of him. And he reminded us that these times of crisis are not unprecedented. There are lists of cases where change, and this is a quote from him, where change or unexpected events made some companies go out of business, but enabled others to reinvent themselves. So his point is that the companies that failed to do so did because they chose to remain stuck in their own ways instead of looking for ways to reinvent themselves. And for the past 18 years, we at Bitdefender strived to adjust to times. We did this in 2012 when we redone with massive efforts our architecture from scratch. It was a unique undertaking, but we enjoy the fruits of those efforts to this day, as you can see. As you are able to see. We are doing so again today by temporarily opening our portfolio for as long as needed to, in these difficult times, to support our fragile global healthcare ecosystem. And to Sinek's point, COVID is a disruption time for businesses. It's more unexpected than other crises, but it is not a unique event. So we invite you to navigate these times confidently, to adjust to these new challenges that we all face, and to trust that we will all come out as stronger businesses that are better equipped than ever for our customers. We at Bitdefender will continue to focus our efforts on answering users' pledge for stronger defenses and increased consolidation, as well as support the global community in this crisis. So I would like to thank you for your time today, and I think we can now move to questions, if there are any.
Yes. Thank you very much, Andra. Such an interesting presentation. Thank you. Yes, we do have some questions, and I think we have a few more minutes, so I'm going to start reading them, and depending on the time, maybe you can take over some more.
Sure.
The first one, what are the technologies you would consider top for Bitdefender from the entire picture?
Okay, so this is a very good question. It's also a difficult one. Let's go back to the picture for a second. many of the prevention technologies are core and they are essential to protecting businesses today. I already mentioned hypervisor introspection, which is a technology that is unique to us. I would also mention HyperDetect, which is our tunable machine learning technology. We are actually the first to introduce a tunable machine learning module, and this enables our customers to tweak aggressiveness levels for 0 days, for ransomware, for exploits. Finally, I would mention Process Inspector. This is a technology that will continue to monitor the activity on your users' devices. It's one of the most famous Bitdefender technologies and most effective ones. It continues to monitor activity on the user devices even after all the prevention modules have given a green light, because there are some pieces of some malware or some different threats that exhibit malicious potential in time. So this technology essentially ensures that as delayed as their malicious behavior is, it will still be detected before the breach actually takes place. This technology is also linked to response capabilities, to automatic response capabilities. So whenever a threshold is reached and a process is deemed malicious, it can immediately go ahead and block it if it has been set up to do so.
Thank you. Another question, do EDR and prevention technologies work together?
Thank you for this question. Yes, they actually do. So as I mentioned, Bitdefender is a company that started in prevention and then added EDR. And this is actually a very important aspect because companies that were born in the EDR space will often receive an influx of alerts. So if I'm a security vendor, if my security product has been born solely with EDR capabilities, I will have to manage a vast number of alerts all of a sudden and find a way to manage them effectively and to filter them effectively for my customer. Bitdefender actually filters a lot of the potential threats at the prevention level. So EDR only receives whatever was not 100% confirmed as threat. It does not receive the full influx. And this enables the customers to have a much more effective use of EDR, much more filtered alerts, and they will essentially look at just what's actually worth looking at. Okay, so
I think we have a few more minutes to answer some more questions.
Let's see if we can take some more. Yes. Okay, so there are a lot of questions. We may not be able to read all of them, but we will try to get back to you with the answers. We have one question about our customers from Stephen Byrne. He's asking that the case studies we mentioned, they are all large enterprises. And Stephen, you're asking if there are Bitdefender solutions for small and medium enterprises. Actually, we do have a large number of small and medium enterprises and even SMBs as customers. Our portfolio is built in a way that each solution adequately serves the segment that company is taking part of. For example, for a medium enterprise or even for smaller enterprises, they will like to focus on prevention and risk analytics and hardening. So we do have in our portfolio what's called Bitdefender Elite. And this solution works with the risk analytics and hardening and with the prevention modules to automate response to alert as much as possible. For companies that have more sophisticated needs, that's where we consider adding the EDR services in solutions such as Ultra Plus. So the answer is yes. Okay, let's take another one. We are asked if this PowerPoint will be made available. Yes, for every partner that has a PAN account, a Partner Advantage Network account, we will upload this presentation as well, so not just the recording. Okay. There are some more technical questions that I may need to defer to my product management colleagues. We have a question from Lenny Leo. I hope I pronounced this correctly, asking if in the AV comparative tests that we shown earlier, Bitdefender can prevent and detect before execution, which features do we use in action? So Lenny, thank you for this question. It's mainly the technologies that I enlisted earlier. So we engage a lot of our global threat intelligence, the exploit defense, the local and the cloud machine learning, our fileless attack defenses, and even process inspector. These are all technologies that can help break the attack chain before the payload is actually dropped and executed on the targeted machine. Let's take another one or two questions fast. So all the other questions seem to be quite technical, and I would not like to try to give an answer that I'm not comfortable with. So I think that whatever I could answer, I did. If there are other questions, so we will try to get back to you by email for the remaining questions that we got from you here. And if there are other questions that you have of us, please reach out to us. I hope this presentation was useful for everyone. As I mentioned, we will make available the recording and the deck to you. We thank you very much for your time today. Anna?
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you very much, Andra, for the presentation. Thanks to everyone for joining us. And of course, we look forward in seeing you in our upcoming webinars.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Have a great day.